having a conversation coming into today, and it's a one we're going to continue after you see the opening credits. And I believe y'all will love it. You ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Let's rock. Good morning and welcome one and all in the region, across the nation, around the world to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Victor Locke is with us from Chicago, managing WSMM. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Snowman?
Snowman's ready to roll. All right.
Yeah, let's roll.
So Snowman's ready. Snowman's ready to roll. We'll get things started a little old school style. Here's the whip around presented by Fanatics. We start in Cleveland, where the Browns have agreed to bring back Joe Flacco on a one-year, $4 million deal. The deal could be up to $13 million with incentives. This is where Flacco won the Comeback Player of the Year just 2 years ago. The 18-year veteran out of Delaware will spend this year with the Cleveland Browns, and good luck to both. Jalen Petrie and the Texans have agreed to a 3-year, $39 million extension. The nickel cornerback for the Houston Texans, the third-year safety out of Baylor, finished the 2024 season with 65 tackles, 6 for a loss, 8 pass deflections, and 1 highlight play in the Texans' 34 win over the Cowboys in Week 11 when he forced a fumble on Cowboys right tackle Tyler Guyton. That led to Derek Barnett scooping and scoring a touchdown in the fourth quarter after Barnett had strip sacked Cowboys quarterback Cooper Rush. So Jalen Petrie, congratulations to you on your extension and keep kicking ass, my brother. Well, well, well. Why are we surprised at this? Fever versus Clark, Sky, and Reese to tip off the NBA's rival week in August. Caitlin Clark and the Fever will face Angel Reese and the Sky in the inaugural WNBA Rivals Week in August. Other games will include two between New York and Minnesota in a WNBA Finals rematch, a potential matchup of Paige Beckers in Dallas, which is expected to select the UConn star with the first pick, against Clark's Fever, and Atlanta's Brittany Griner facing her old Phoenix Mercury squad. The week will be sponsored by Ally Financial, the newest partner for the league this season. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert says, quote, "You can have a great partnership, but you also have to have great activation. There's going to be a full slate of games that week, and that's going to be a cool part of the activation," close quote. Well, we're going to talk a little more about that a little bit later. At your whip around, presented by Fanatics.
I've never seen an organization grasp at straws more than the Cleveland Browns.
You're not wrong.
I mean, my gracious. I've never known
18-year veteran Joe Flacco.
Right. Old man Joe. That's the best
But
you
to
can
be
come up
fair, but to be fair, 2 years ago, he did take them to the playoffs. They got smoked by the Strouds.
with. Right.
Okay. But let's think about the way Cleveland is thinking.
Mhm.
And we know how Cleveland thinks.
They don't.
Thank you. They just want the playoffs. They don't want to compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm
Hell,
gonna
I
say
can say
this,
that. I can say that about quite a few teams.
and I'm just gonna say this: that season that they made the playoffs was a cake season anyway.
Mm-hmm. Because they face teams worse than them.
Exactly.
Like the New York Jets, perhaps.
Sorry, Mr. McCarthy, but yes.
Well, that's the year they did beat my 49ers, but it wasn't with Flacco.
right.
It was a different quarterback. It was a different quarterback at the time that beat them. We're going to talk 49ers a little bit later. But right now, before we go to our first break, let's go to the Fanatics Feedback Zone. It's the Playmaker who is here with us. He says, good morning. It's the Fanatic Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. I may add that to the title. Thank you, Playmaker, for hopping in with us. We really appreciate you, and we really appreciate the fans that hang out with us. Coming up next, I'm going to flip the script a little bit, and we're going to talk a little NBA because the Minnesota Timberwolves did my Warriors a huge favor last night.
All
We're
right.
going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what it means for the Timberwolves, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors as we continue to watch the Wild, Wild Western Conference. Snowman in the Morning, back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to this fabulous Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. And if you're on the road and you want to tune in, you can't get YouTube, you can do this. You can listen live on snowman-media.com/WJKS, our flagship station based out of Indianapolis, Indiana. You can also listen on WSMM, headed by my good buddy Victor Locke in Chicago. You know I had to create a station for my hometown. And you can also listen on WBWS with our flagship in Louisville, Kentucky. I figure why not, since I'm here in Southern Indiana. But those are 3 stations that we have live right now. Believe me, we're going to have more as this network continues to grow.
Well, let's go ahead and get to these scores that was, because we're going to go ahead and get you through the slate as the season for the NBA is coming to a very quick close. So we go ahead and start off with the Pistons, who actually take down the Knicks 115-106. The Indiana Pacers, we told you to watch out for them Pacers. They edged the Cavaliers 114-112 in an absolute thriller. The Atlanta Hawks beat the Brooklyn Nets 133-109. The Milwaukee Bucks take down the Pelicans 136-111. No surprise there. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, as Snowman said, did the Warriors a big favor, taking down the Memphis Grizzlies 141-125.
Yikes!
Today's docket goes this way. At 6 p.m., the Indiana Pacers will be hosting the Orlando Magic. The Detroit Pistons will be hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Atlanta Hawks will be going to Philadelphia, JJ's home part of town, to take on them 76ers.
Yep.
At 6:30, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be going to the Big Apple to take on the Knicks. The Charlotte Hornets will go to Boston to take on the Celtics. That's going to be a yeesh and a half. At 7 o'clock, we have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Washington Wizards, and the Pelicans taking on the Heat in NOLA. At 7:30, you have the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Toronto Raptors. You have at 8 o'clock, you have the Grizzlies going to Denver to take on the Nuggets. The Shadow Realm Nets will be going to the Minnesota take on Timberwolves at 8 o'clock. 8:30, you have the Utah Jazz hosting the OKC Thunder. You have the Clippers taking on the Kings at 9. Them Warriors will be taking on Portland Trailblazers at 9 o'clock. At the 9 o'clock, also, you have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Desert and the Phoenix Suns. And at your nightcap, 9:30, you have the LA Fakers. I mean Lakers. I mean Brown Boys. I mean Lakers taking on the Houston Rockets. That's your 9:30 nightcap.
Lakers and Rockets again.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers and Rockets again. That is to seal the 3 seed for the Lakers. Let's get into the NBA. We're going to talk football. Believe me, we're going to do that a little bit later. And I told y'all this was a potluck Friday. Again, to those of you listening from Indianapolis via WJKS, welcome aboard. You can tune in to snowman-media.com/WJKS to learn all about WJKS DB. And 2 more stations are in the works. As a matter of fact, one of them is going out of Chicago. And as I mentioned, the other is out of Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you, Minnesota Timberwolves. Damn it. Because seeing the Warriors in that 7 spot hurt me.
Right.
But as I said, they choked away a win versus San Antonio. When you have 2 leads of at least 9 points and you give them up both times, you deserve to lose.
Yes.
You deserve to lose. You know, a lot of people couldn't believe it when I went in on my Warriors. And I'm like, you haven't listened to my show for a while, haven't you? Because I criticize everybody when they do something bad. Trust me. People don't want to see it. People don't want to believe it, but I do. You know, Victor knows.
Yeah.
Victor knows.
I mean, we've dealt with it. We've always, when our team does well, we give them praise. When they do bad, we got to call them out.
We got to call them out. Absolutely. We got to call them out. Simple as that. But the reason why I said thank you, Minnesota, because there are 3 teams in a fight for the 6th seed, which is currently held by the Golden State Warriors with 2 games to go. And I'm thinking the magic number will be 49 for Golden State to not only clinch the 6, but maybe move up to the 5.
Okay.
Maybe move up to the 5. The Lakers are in. Congratulations to them. The Rockets are in. Congratulations to them. They win the Southwest Division. And Oklahoma City just rolled over everybody. Congrats to them. 66 wins on the year, a team record. They are tops in the Western Conference.
Yes, indeed.
But 6 through 8, I beg your pardon.
It's up in the air.
Is up in the air. Matter of fact, 5 through 8 is up in the air because the Warriors are only a game behind the Clippers. And then you got Memphis and Minnesota that just played. And Minnesota knocks Memphis down to the 7 spot. The Warriors have to take advantage of this chance.
And they have a golden opportunity against.
They have a golden opportunity tonight against a team that they should cream tonight. They should cream the Portland Trailblazers. But as we said, against San Antonio, they choked away 2 leads of at least 9 points. And that is the only flaw I see again with the Warriors, but it is a very fatal flaw. Go back to 2022, the NBA World Championship Series. They had a 17-point lead against the Boston Celtics and gave game 1 away. Lost by 12.
Right.
I started noticing that trend then. Yes, they went on to win the series. Yes, I was jumping up and down like a 10-year-old celebrating at my mother-in-law's house. But still, that is a fatal flaw for the Warriors. They let teams that they have down by the throat back in the game. San Antonio, hello.
Right.
And speaking of San Antonio, let me give a special shout to a very, very dear friend Mr. Bill Schoening, who is retiring at the end of the season after 24 years with the San Antonio Spurs. Bill Schoening hanging up his mic. He's really got started with the Texas Longhorns. He was their voice for 12 years before Craig Way took over, and he's been with the San Antonio Spurs. He'll be with them up until Sunday. This is their last West Coast trip.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, I am so proud of you, my man. I'm so proud of you, your career, how you handled it. You handled it like a true professional, and you've been a true friend to me and my family and my friends. And you've always been there to support me, to keep me going, especially when I was in the hospital. At any time, you just kept saying, "You're a fighter, you're a warrior."
Mm-hmm.
That's all he kept saying. And Bill, I take those words to heart, and I take those words into every day. So a shout out to Bill Schoening, voice of the San Antonio Spurs, who will join us next week on Mike to Mike.
That's gonna be amazing.
24 years as the play-by-play announcer of the Spurs, and I had the pleasure of working with him twice. Once in Charlotte, once in Indianapolis, and he introduced me to Mark Boyle, the fabulous voice of the Indiana Pacers. You know, he also I saw an old friend of mine. He's the TV voice of the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm getting bad with it's bad for me, and I've been through hell physically when I can't remember names.
Right.
And I know this guy. I'm gonna look him up right now.
Playmaker says Denver and Memphis paved the way for the Lakers to make the West Finals.
Yeah, they did. They did. I agree with that. If y'all haven't seen the Shooting Lights Out podcast, check it out. Check it out. And Playmaker, I'm going to make you an offer. I want to put the Shooting Lights Out podcast on Snowman Sportsnet. I'll leave the choice up to you. But yeah, they paved the way. That the Lakers should have been buried. Okay, let's just be real. Then they get Luka.
Which should have been the nail in the coffin because of how badly it was handled.
And it's still being handled badly.
But they really showed out.
Oh, TV man Eric Collins, very dear friend of mine. I met Eric. Let me tell you about Eric Collins. Eric Collins and I go back to 1998 when I was in Chicago, and he was there also working with Fox Sports Net Chicago. We covered the same game that day, that Sunday, which was the Chicago Public League Championship. And it was Martin Luther King against Whitney Young. And Quentin Richardson went off for 35 points.
Oof.
That's how I got to know Quentin Richardson. That's how I got to know all the folks at Martin Luther King High. And that's how I got to know Eric Collins, who is terrific as a play-by-play voice. And I say that not because he's a dear friend of mine. I say that because he is. I've watched his work and I've listened to his work. Mm-hmm. Hey, when the Hornets brought him in as the the TV play-by-play announcer, they did a good thing. They did a very good thing. To the Eastern Conference we go, and all of the spots have been clinched. 1 through 6 goes Cleveland, Boston, the Knicks, the Pacers are in the 4 spot, and I knew they'd grab a top 4. I said it at the top of the year. Do not be surprised if the Pacers have a top 4 spot.
Right.
And they're 1 win away from 50. They are 1 win away from 50. In fact, if the Knicks lose and the Pacers win, and if the Pacers are a game ahead at the end of the season, the Pacers move up to the 3 spot.
Right.
Milwaukee and Detroit finish off the top 6. 7 through 10, the Orlando Magic, the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Heat. And the Bulls draw the Miami Heat in the first play-in game next week. And let's talk Bulls. The Bulls should bury the Miami Heat in the play-in round.
Right.
They should bury them immediately.
They should. Absolutely, they should.
They have the players to do it.
It's a matter of just getting those opportunities and putting
Taking
them away.
advantage.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
A little bit of iced coffee to start the day. But they should put them away.
Right.
They should not have to struggle with the Miami Heat. All right, because they've beaten them twice recently, and they've beaten them handily.
Right.
They've beaten them handily. So this should be, I'll say it, this should be easy pickings.
Right.
For the Bulls.
It should be easy pickings.
Easy pickings.
Especially now that the Heat lost someone really important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they really have not recovered.
No, they haven't. We don't have to worry about the Sixers being in the playoffs. They're eliminated. Thank the Lord. You ain't got to worry about hearing Joel Embiid's crazy name.
Joel Embiid, you know what you are. So
Yep. We're going to keep it clean in respect to our radio audience.
Mm-hmm. But it's just Miami definitely got dealt a really painful blow, and they have not been able to cover. Philly was never in it, sad to say.
They did it to themselves.
They did.
All right.
Talk about a very storied ball club.
Yeah, they dealt away Jimmy Butler,
mm-hmm.
and they haven't recovered. They have not recovered since they dealt away Jimmy Butler. And I understand why Jimmy Butler wanted a divorce from the Miami Heat. I understand it now.
I do too.
Because the culture was not changing.
Right.
Not only
they
was
kind of rested on their laurels of 2012, 2013.
They rested on their laurels of 2020.
Yeah, that too.
And the close loss in 22 in Game 7 at home against the Boston Celtics, I believe drove a nail in their coffin.
Right.
And what really doesn't help, when you trade away your best player,
right,
who is making the Golden State Warriors championship contenders.
Yep.
Making the Warriors championship contenders. See, what I think happened is when he got traded, his mindset changed.
Yeah.
And you know what the chatter was. Would Jimmy Butler be able to get along with Draymond Green?
Yeah.
I'll answer that. Hell yes, they have.
It looks like it have.
This is not a Kevin Durant situation where each of them wanted to be the top dog. Durant was the leading scorer, but praise Durant for saying this is Steph's team.
Right.
This is Steph's team. You know, Jimmy Butler said the same thing, but Jimmy Butler brings a different skill set than Kevin Durant. Jimmy Butler brings the ability to get to the free throw line. Not to say Kevin Durant doesn't have that ability, but Kevin Durant is a jump shooter.
Exactly.
And he's a 7-foot, highly skilled, highly talented jump shooter. He's one hell of a jump shooter.
And it's surprising someone that tall, someone that big can do well as a jump shooter.
Man, 52% from the floor. 52% from the floor. You can't argue with that.
No, you cannot.
You can't argue with that. I just wish KD would have stayed in Northern California.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think what happened with KD is that he listened to too many people.
Yeah, too many people got in his head. You know who else suffered? You know who else suffered that? Derrick Rose.
Yes. And
Derrick Rose let too many people get in his. Yep, Derrick Rose had too many people getting in his ear. He should have finished his 15-year career at home.
It's not even that. It's that when he felt ready to get back out there, he should have went back out there. Instead, he listened to other individuals getting in his ear, tell him to hold out.
His family. I'll say it. His family. And I hate that happened to Derrick Rose. Kudos on your 15-year career, my man. All right.
Man.
We've had the opportunity to see him play since he was a sophomore at Simeon Academy.
And I still remember that 50-point masterclass he had. I wish it was with the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, I was just so happy to see
I'm
him
I'm happy he got a
have that
50 burger.
50 point
Yep.
50-point masterclass.
I'm happy he had a 50 burger. Okay? He could put that on his resume. I
Yeah,
had a 50
yeah.
burger in a game. Yes. Yes, you did. And like you said, it was a masterclass. It was a masterclass of how to play. Derrick Rose and Steph Curry are the last two old school like point guards remaining.
Yeah.
Get the ball up the floor, get your team within the offense. The only difference between Steph and Derrick Rose is Steph is a hybrid that can shoot the basketball. That's
And
it.
at one point, Derek was about to get that way too.
He was. Then he got injured,
Yeah.
and that changed everything for him. And that changed everything. And I hate that changed everything for Derrick Rose. I remember I was at South Suburban College when the word came down. I was actually watching it while calling a softball game.
Mm-hmm.
And runner gets to first. I look down at my phone and I see them carrying Derrick Rose off the floor. And I made the announcement that the Bulls beat the 76ers, but at a horrible cost. And then I mentioned the injury of Derrick Rose, and suddenly I had a crowd around me.
Man.
Now, dear Chicago Bulls, beat the hell out of Washington, please.
Yes, please.
Dear Indiana Pacers, beat the hell out of Orlando. Please.
Again, please.
Brooklyn Nets and Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not even gonna look at that one.
Right?
I'm not even gonna look at that one. I'm just gonna say this to Golden State. Dear Golden State Warriors, go into Portland and kick their ass.
That's an order. That's not even a request. That's a doggone order. You should be able
doggone order.
You should be able to beat the brakes off Portland.
After what happened against San Antonio on Wednesday night, you need to take out all your frustration and anger on a 35-win Portland Trailblazers team. Period.
Right.
You need to get the season sweep from them. I believe it's the season sweep. Let me see. Live research, folks. Warriors beat the Trailblazers 140-104 in game 1. In game 2, Warriors 130, Trailblazers 120. They should sweep the season series. They should sweep the season series. Playmaker, what is up with you and Florida teams? Nothing, man. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. And besides, Golden State is favored by 14. 14 and a half. I might put a little cheese on that game.
Oh.
I might, you know something?
So tell me, where are you going to go to put the cheese on this game?
Where am I going to go to put some cheese on this game? Well, y'all know where I'm going. I'm going to betus.com, where the game begins. Use the code Snowman and you get 30%, make a 100% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. betus.com, where the game begins. That's where I'm going to put a little cheese on that.
And I think everyone else
I think I need to put a little cheese on this 14.5 point spread that the Warriors have against the Portland Trailblazers.
Right.
I should do that. Ooh-wee. And they're calling for 226 on the under. They're going under on 226.
Okay.
So this may be a double play for me.
I may take that.
I might take that too. The line's open. The line's open right now. And I'm looking at ESPN's board. I'm not betting with them, but I'm looking at ESPN's board. They got the Warriors favored by 14.5. And they're going under 226.
Okay.
That may be one I need to snatch. That might be a parlay I need to snatch. That may be a parlay. That may be a double play I need to snatch.
Sound like a good idea.
Because I think the Warriors are going to beat the ever-loving hell out of the Portland Trailblazers. after what happened against San Antonio,
They need it.
they're going to march into Portland and kick their ass. At least I hope so.
Right.
At least I hope so. I said that against San Antonio, and San Antonio surprised me.
Because the Trailblazers can't play spoiler.
Listen, the Portland Trailblazers are a professional basketball team, period.
Yes, they are.
Any given night. Any given night. Hello, Wednesday. Hello, Wednesday.
Right.
And that was in the Warriors' house, by the way. You know, I will tell you, before we go to break, I'll tell you the main reason why the Warriors need to hold on to this 6th seed, and it's pretty simple. Rest. If they clinch the 6th seed, they get a week off to rest.
They need rest. Yes.
They desperately need rest. Even though Steph Curry has been invigorated with the presence of Jimmy Butler, they have 2 outstanding bigs in Quentin Post, their rookie, and Guy Santos. Butler's a great rebounder too, but they need rest. Too. Yeah, of course you got Draymond Green, but they need rest, man.
They need to rest.
They need a week off to recover and rest and get ready for the first round because they're going to start on the road.
Yes,
they're going to start on the road against the 3 seed, which would happen. Oh my God! Which at this point is the Lakers.
Yeah.
And the Lakers won the season series, so they go on the road to Los Angeles. But they can win in LA. They've done it.
They've shown it.
They've done it. They have
now
done
you gotta
it.
do it, but now you got to do it 4 different times.
Yep.
And
Get 2 in LA. You got to get 2 in LA.
You gotta get 2 in LA.
Actually, you only need 1. You only need 1 because if it stretches to 6 games and the Warriors are at home and they can clinch at home. But we still have 2 games left in the regular season. There are a whole lot of spots up for grabs in the West. And when I say this is the Wild Wild Western Conference, I said that for a reason.
It is.
I've never seen the Western Conference this competitive. I take that back. Yes, I have.
Yes,
I have. Back in the 80s, the Western Conference was uber competitive. Look at it now. It's the same thing. 3 spots are gone. OKC, Houston, and the Lakers. Then you got Denver, the Clippers, and Golden State fighting for two big spots.
Yep.
And the 2 big spots they're fighting for are 4 and 5. They can, if all goes right, what will have to happen is that the Warriors would have to win out.
Yep.
Which means they need to beat the hell out of the Clippers on Sunday, a game I'm going to call on this channel, and Victor will join me. They need to beat the hell out of the Clippers on Sunday. Well, first of all, let's just worry about tonight and them winning tonight. First. Business in front of you first. That's the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
The Clippers are sneaky good.
Yes, they are.
The Clippers are sneaky good. Can they keep it up in the postseason? Matter of fact, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to do this on Monday. I'm going to introduce a segment called One Question for Every Playoff Team.
Okay.
And we're going to do it in all the sports that we cover. All right?
Okay.
Including hockey. We'll do that. We'll do that next week. And next week, we'll also ramp up our draft coverage. I made a promise. I'm going to keep it. And we're going to look at a couple of teams that need some draft help. First of all, we're going to take a break because I got to go get some water. And when we come back, we're going down to Dallas.
Oh, boy.
What the hell do they need to get back in contention at the very least? And Victor has some ramblings about the moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation. We'll mix all that in and then take it to the top of the hour. Snowman in the morning, back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries,
Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to this Friday, this fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Once again, we're glad to have y'all with us. We have some NFL talk on the way, but there is someone that I want to give a shout to.
Okay.
And this fellow's name is Terry Little, aka the Guru, on the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. Terry is going through the same thing I went through, which is pancreatic cancer. So Terry, from all of us at Snowman in the Morning, Snowman Multimedia, from the Fanatics Feedback Zone, everybody there, we know that you're going to win this fight, my brother. It's a fight and a half, as you know, but you're going to be a survivor, and I can't wait to tell your story when you do survive this fight. All Snowman and the crew are behind you. Cole Johnson's behind you, our executive producer, my beautiful wife, Jody, who has been by my side since day one. You know, she helped in my fight, and I expect your family to help you in your fight. To use the words of Dave Martinez, Washington Nationals coach, you're going to stay in the fight and you're going to win the fight. We love you, brother. Blessings to you. We love you.
Absolutely.
And I mean every single word of that. I hate seeing anybody going through cancer.
Agreed. Give a shout out to Mr. A. Pizzle.
Pizzle! Come here. What's up, Pizzle? He says, good morning.
That's
Good morning
right.
to you.
Fins up, baby.
This month is sports month. March Madness, the Masters, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and WrestleMania.
And WrestleMania.
And also he adds NFL draft and WNBA draft. You know what? Let's go there for a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to cover on Monday the WNBA draft before I do Monday Night Baseball. In fact, I'm going to combine it. I'm going to cover all 3 rounds of the WNBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't get a baseball game in Monday, I'll get it in on Wednesday. Maybe there's a game in the afternoon that'll lead into that. But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to break down every single pick and how they can help the team that drafted them. You know who's going first. That's Paige Beckers.
Paige Beckers, yeah.
He's going Paige Beckers is going to Dallas.
I was going to say, where do you think she's going? Dallas?
Yep. The Wings have the first pick. The Dallas Wings have the first pick in the draft. And they're going to pick Paige Beckers.
They're going to pick up Paige.
They'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, they would.
Let me just say that out loud. They'd be crazy not to. And think of the rivalry that will develop. Everyone who wants to pit Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese, there's a big difference. Caitlin Clark has a game to back her up. Angel Reese is still trying to develop one.
Yeah, Angel Reese has talent.
I'm not saying anything disparaging against Angel Reese. But listen carefully. Caitlin Clark has her game. She's developed it, and she's developing even more. Angel Reese is developing her game.
Right.
There are 2 things that Angel Reese needs badly. A jump shot, because she's a lefty, and a mid-range game.
Yeah.
She gets those 2 things, you wouldn't be able to guard her if your life depended on it.
You really wouldn't.
For Caitlin Clark, what she has to do is see the floor better. I go back to the first month of the WNBA season and think of how many times they turned the ball, that Caitlin Clark herself turned the ball over. She got some rest. Second half, you know the story.
Right.
You know the story. All right, that's our WNBA conversation. We've had our NBA conversation, and now we're going to go to Dallas. The NFL draft is later this month, and I know a certain person who has some ramblings on said draft and said team and said group. These are the musings of Take it away.
I'm going to try myself to be very, very calm as I talk about this. Where do I begin with you with this team? It seems like no matter what happens, the Dallas Cowboys find a way to do everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You get rid of Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, good job. You get rid of Pennywise, who has basically been next to nothing. Now, yes, has he got to the playoffs? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get us a wild card win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Yeah. And then look what happened. You can say the last 2 times that we took on the 49ers, where we got beat down, has been basically because of Pennywise making dumb decisions at the late parts of the game. They saw what happened.
2023, anyone?
Then you remember what happened to us against Detroit and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go. And I'm thinking, okay, There's some pretty good coaches out there. We could probably pick one up. No, we get this guy who was in the locker room at some point. I can't remember his name. That's how much of a nothing burger this hire was. Schottenheimer.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Now, he could be good, right? We don't know. This is his first time coming in. He could be a diamond in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll all look like idiots. But let's be realistic. That's not happening.
George Seifert was a diamond in the rough.
He was.
Because many knew him as just the defensive coordinator for San Francisco.
Right.
And he'd been their defensive coordinator 9 years. And then Bill Walsh steps aside.
Mm-hmm.
George Seifert takes over. And the same kind of questions that people were wondering about the 49ers in 88, they were wondering about in 89.
Right.
How good is this 49ers team going to be? Let's see, 14-2, NFC West champions, and they beat the hell out of Denver in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, 41. They hung 41 on the Vikings. They hung 30 on the Rams, and then 55 on the Broncos. So a diamond in the rough can produce results. We don't know if Brian Schottenheimer
is that.
Right.
And more likely, we're very doubtful of that. What this seemed like to many was, honestly, what I think it was, smokescreen. It was a stooge that Jarrell can have in the locker room so he can keep his finger on the pulse of the team. Because Jarrell cannot get out of his own way. And he cannot get out of the way of football operations.
Where have we heard that before?
Rest in peace, Virginia McCaskey. You were also guilty of this too. But like I said, rest in peace to Miss McCaskey.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
But the thing
Jed York, don't you even think about sticking your nose in football operations.
Please don't.
You got someone named John Lynch to do that.
Right.
Don't you stick your nose back in that business. Go on.
So now we come to another free agency where we've heard nothing of any Cowboy moves.
Nothing?
Nothing. We've heard nothing.
He said nothing
about what the Cowboys have been doing.
He said nothing.
We've heard nothing.
Yeah.
Not a single move has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me believe that basically the Cowboys are all going to just put all their hopes into the draft again. We did this last year. The only pickup we had last year was we got back age-old dried cheese Zeke Elliott. That's it. I know, Playmaker. I'm hurting myself doing this. So the question now that I've been asked is, well, what do the Cowboys need to do to get to some form of prominence? Get back to relevancy at least. And in my case, I have no clue. You already finished Dak
because you got to remember, they backed into the NFC East title in 2023.
Yes.
They backed their ass into that.
They basically loaded up on the front end. And back end almost took them out, but they were able to stay competitive.
Yep.
Basically, the way for my golf fans, they loaded up on the front nine, but that back nine nearly took them out. The thing is this: what are you going to do? You're going to entrust, and maybe this has to happen, to entrust a lot of the future of the Cowboys into the rookies that are going to come in the draft. But you guys got a lot of holes to fix. Your offensive line is a joke. Your offensive line is an absolute joke, and you spent ill-advised money to once again re-up and extend Dak Prescott.
Can I laugh now?
Everyone's been laughing. The entire NFL has been laughing at the Cowboys since the tail end of 2022.
Fair enough.
And I got to deal with it.
Since George Kittle made that incredible one-handed catch.
Yeah.
in the
This
playoffs.
past season has almost made me swear off football forever.
Oh my gosh.
Because of how bad the Cowboys have been and how delusional the Monarch Republic has been. 3.2 seconds, guys. 3.2 seconds. And you guys are already saying we're going to Super Bowl next year.
Really? Oh, Lord.
Playmaker makes a valid point. We have to define relevancy. When I say relevancy, I mean relevancy in a positive manner. I mean relevancy is that's team you got to worry about.
Yes.
When you hear about teams you got to worry about, I hear Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I even hear Green Bay Packers to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the Chiefs, the Niners,
the
Rams.
Mm-hmm. And the Rams are going to be a problem next year.
Right.
Let me just say this out loud for Playmaker, and I'm looking at everybody. The Rams are going to be a freaking problem for us next year. Period.
And one team you really got to worry about are the Washington
Redskins.
Thank you. Those are teams I would say you got to worry about. We don't worry about the Cowboys. Nobody worries about the Cowboys. Except for maybe the Giants. Sorry, Wise.
Man, they're not worrying. Get out of here.
But here's the big issue that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So we already decided to divvy up the money for Dak.
Dear Lord.
We don't know what he's going to be when he comes back, or if this is going to go forward with Cooper. Who I'm really confused at how Cooper Rush had the exact same line as Dak did, but did more.
Cooper Rush is mobile.
Rico Dowdle, I can see where they're going with him.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I think Rico Dowdle can be something great. He has really good feet, decent vision. I think if he puts a couple extra pounds on of muscle, you give him a line, he can be something special because he has that Barry Sanders kind of running from what I've seen. They have the only two saving graces you really have on this Cowboys team. Well, I would say three to a degree. CD, who still looks crazy good. And
Man,
if you give him
CD Lamb, as much as I pick on him,
right.
I know how talented CD Lamb is.
Right.
Saw him in Oklahoma. Let me say this again. Y'all know me. I pick on everybody. I've picked on CD Lamb mercilessly, but I know the talent that CD Lamb has. Okay, go on, Victor.
Oh, if Cooper Rush went to Baltimore, then we're probably screwed. Then I'm surprised if that's the case because it seems like Baltimore has been basically all in on Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
And a good morning to the underrated darkness, who's
underrated darkness in the house. A Pizzle in the house.
Mm-hmm.
A Pizzle, I got to put this comment up. A Pizzle says 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and the Cowboy fans saying this is their year.
Yeah.
Now more like the Cubs every day.
That's true too. Okay, so and we've already got rid of Trey Lance. So if that's the case, it's Dak or nothing.
Damn near headed to Canada.
Yeah.
I think he is. Well, no, he's with the Chargers.
No, he's Chargers. He's San Diego.
He's with the Chargers. He's in the. Oh God, I feel for you, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but so you have that. So you need a line. If you give a line that knows how to run block, Rico could be something special. And then you got our special teams: Brandon Aubrey and Kavontae Turpin.
Oh yeah,
Kavontae Turpin. Kavontae Turpin to me gives me Devin Hester vibes.
Mm-hmm.
He could be something extremely special. And they're starting to use him in a very odd way where they're allowing him to not only be a receiver, they let him become a bit of a running back too.
Yeah. Doing the wide back run.
Yep. Which could really help you, but it's got to be railed in. It cannot be this, let's just try something for the sake of trying it. There needs to be a philosophy when it comes to what Ryan Schottenheimer is going to do for this coaching team. He's got to have a philosophy.
Yes.
What are you going to be? Are you going to be quick outs and West Coast offense? Are you going to be run heavy? Are you going to be vertical passing? You got to have some form of philosophy on what you. And if I'm, this is going to be really painful to say, but if I am Gerald and I made this pick of getting Brian Schottenheimer, I need to put everything I can in front to give him every tool to succeed. If Brian Schottenheimer's my guy, I got to give him every tool to succeed. I got to give him everything he needs to get better. Because it's not gonna be overnight. I do not expect the Cowboys under Schottenheimer to make it to the NFC Championship. That's not gonna happen.
Right.
But maybe a wild card, I'll give him that. Maybe a wild card run. Maybe a shot for the NFC East title between the Commanders and the Cowboys. That's usually where you go. But what needs to happen is I need to ask him, what is your philosophy? What offense do you want to run? And then build my draft around that. Personally, I'm going like this. I want to run. It has been shown to work. You know how we know it's shown to work? Who won last year's Super Bowl?
The Eagles.
How they win it?
They ran the football.
Running the football. Detroit almost won the NFC Championship. How'd they get to the year they got? They ran the football. It's not outdated, folks. So I will be looking at line. I will be looking at possibly a backup quarterback. Actually, no, definitely a backup quarterback if you're going to go with Dak. Because he will probably get injured somewhere in the middle of this year.
Yep. Middle of the year. You can count on it.
You definitely need at least a good tight end, if not a really good another good slot. So that you take some of the pressure off CD and Kevontae Turpin.
Yes.
Maybe spend a couple of those later picks for some defensive help. Because Parsons is not long for this team if he does not get help. And he needs it. Now I come to the group that I really don't want to talk about, but I know I got to. The moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation.
Oh, boy.
Y'all need to shut up. You need to be quiet. Every single time you open your mouth, you doom us. Every single time you open your mouth, you doom us all. Because you guys don't look at this team objectively. You never have. You always look at it through the same blue and silver rose-colored glasses and think everything's just wonderful. Doesn't matter what happens. The rest of the league sucks. We're going to win and we're going to go to the Super Bowl regardless of whatever we do. Who cares? I'll tell you who cares. I'll give you a perfect. I'll tell you exactly who cares. Philadelphia, who proved you wrong. Washington, who proved you wrong. Atlanta, who proved you wrong. Houston,
who proves you wrong in a primetime game.
Detroit,
who came into Cowboy Nation and smashed you to pieces.
And you couldn't even get over an injured 49ers team.
Yep. We had 3 more injuries than the Cowboys. And somehow the Cowboys, in 6 minutes of the third quarter, allowed 21 points. They went from a 10-6 lead to a 27-10 deficit. Now, granted, the Niners only won by 6 because the Cowboys got their act together, but they won. That's the big thing.
Right.
Which caused a lot of Cowboy fans to crash out.
And it needs to be some self-reflection.
I love it. I love it.
There needs to be some self-reflection at
Mm-hmm.
this point. Stop with these aspirations of going to the Super Bowl when you can't even win week 1 yet. Oh, you won week. I'm sorry. You did win week 1 against the Cleveland Browns, and you still looked average.
I can't even say because it's Cleveland, because Dallas did look average. I looked at that game. I looked at that game along with you, sir.
And you
They looked about as average as the 49ers with a bunch of injuries.
Like, they still looked average after all that. And now we're going into another off season, head to another draft season.
Yep.
And we still don't know what the hell to do.
I never thought you'd say that.
We still
Oh
don't know
my
what to do.
heavens. Oh my heavens. I love it. Keep cooking. Keep cooking.
We still don't know what to do.
Keep cooking. Oh God.
I don't know what to do with this team. I don't really know what to expect, because sometimes when I think they're not going to do anything, they do a lot. I didn't expect 2023, 2024 to be the way it was. I didn't expect them to do that well, but they did.
Yep. They did.
Let's take off the glasses. Let's look at these objectively. Let's think critically. I know these are lofty ideals. Okay, I know he was like, why are you asking Cowboys Nation to do this? You know that's not possible. And I've been given by some people to tell me, just stop being a fan of theirs. Just stop it.
I've seen it happen, folks. I've seen that happen in person.
Let it go. They're not going to do anything. They're terrible. They're this. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been a fan since the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Since I got my first binder and I was able to list all the Cowboys from the Aikman era.
Yes.
Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Deion Primetime Sanders. I want to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
When we were looked at as actually America's team for a reason.
Yep.
Because right now, America's team, at least for this year, flies high in Philadelphia.
Yep.
We don't have anything that can stop that yet. So, Morocco Republic, if you're not bringing anything of value to the conversation, shut up. Let us real Cowboys fans, us critical Cowboys fans, actually say, you know what? There's a lot of things we got to fix. And we have to fix them now. Because with every year, that defense is going to start getting worse. It's going to get worn down.
Mm-hmm.
And the offense is nothing to look at with favorable eyes. So, to close this up, I've been rambling for too long. Cowboys Nation, if you have any aspirations about us going to the Super Bowl, getting our 6th ring, just listen to the words of the legendary Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And Snowman, you know what those words are.
Say 'em. Say 'em.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
I want the Cowboys to do well. I desperately want the Cowboys, if for nothing else, to not be kicked around every single morning on the show. If for nothing else, if I get kicked around on this show,
Mm-hmm.
but if that doesn't work, that doesn't happen, guess what? I gotta take the beating, not y'all. So if you're gonna say something about, oh, we're gonna go next year, you just went, don't say anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got a lot of work to do to get there. We have a lot of work to do. And I know Play like CJ is sitting here trolling me right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stop here, but
those are the random cowboy musings of
Okay.
Coming up next.
You fool!
It's the you fool moment of the week.
Oh no.
And it falls on me.
Oh no.
Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E. Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. News. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right. Oh, hello, my love. She just waved at me. Oh, Lordy. I love that woman dearly. I do. All right. I got a personal Snowman's take to do.
Okay.
As most of you know, I have a GoFundMe campaign going because I'm desperately trying to get back to work and get back to helping my family financially. I had a couple people yesterday tell me that they're unfriending me because they didn't feel comfortable with me asking. I'm thinking, you could have just said no. Because I asked a friend this morning if he could spread that for me. He told me he couldn't for contractual reasons. Okay, cool. Dig it. I understand. But to just shut me down and say I'm removing you from my friends list and I'm doing all that stuff, you a bitch. All y'all who are hating on me because I've been through and survived cancer, I've been through blood clots in both lungs, 2 toe amputations, and all that has happened within 3 years. To all y'all that are hating, you a bitch. You understand that? I won't say names because Victor laid the advice on me on not saying names. Jody said the same thing, and Jody told me curb my language because I'm going to help you manage your station. Yes, honey. I will curb my language, but I'm not keeping this inside of me. To everyone that's hating on me and my crew, y'all some bitches. You understand that? To those who are hating on me doing alternative play-by-play, you a bitch. I don't give 2 damns anymore. Jody asked me a very important question. And if y'all don't know, Jody's my beautiful bride. Jody asked me a very important question. Are you all in or not? I'm like, huh? And she proceeded to break down and explain to me how I start things and I don't keep up with them. She also started to break down that it overwhelmed me. Even with all that I was doing, I was becoming a jack of all trades. Good at some, master at none. She said, take one thing and build the out of it. That one thing is going to be this. It's going to be Snowman in the morning. She says, okay, good. What's the second thing? I said some play-by-play. Okay. And then I asked Cole, what night should I do football? He immediately said Sunday night. Gives you a chance to prepare during the day. And you can get some rest. And then you can come in and kick ass. My wife agrees. Now, there will be some times that I'll slip in a Colts game, a 49er game, and keep those obligations alive. But for the most part, those are going to be video reports. Unless I get the itch. And y'all know what happens when I get the itch.
Mm-hmm.
But give me this button. Because I'm about to cuss and I don't want y'all to hear it. Yeah, give me this button right here. I don't give a flying anymore. You understand me? Look into my eyes. I don't give a flying I don't give 2/5 of a half of a flying what y'all tried to do. I don't give 2/5 of a half of a quarter of a damn of what y'all trying to do. I'm going to keep pushing. My crew is going to keep pushing for me. All my friends that I put my GoFundMe to, they said, yeah, we got you. We're going to spread the word. They said, we're going to see what we can do. I got broadcast buddies that are helping me. And it's not just me. It's a team effort. My family, my broadcast brethren and sisters, my broadcast brothers and sisters that have all become friends of mine, including Victor, who's been my friend for 25 years. Through thick and thin. Victor once said to me when I was at one of my lowest points, I don't give a what happens. I'm right here for you.
Yep.
When I first got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, it wasn't my mother who cheered me up. It was Victor. He kept me on the path. Then I wind up in the hospital for 3 months. 3 months. I was in the hospital in Maryville, Indiana. Why? Because first of all, 3 weeks, not 3 months. I beg your pardon. 3 weeks. Why? Because I felt like I didn't know what the was going on, and I needed some answers. Well, what was going on? Because it was my sugar was flying off the scale. Cost me 3 weeks in the hospital. I'm better now. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to get back down to my playing weight. And yes, I did play sports, y'all. I'm getting down to my playing weight of 240, maybe 235, and then put a little bulk on and maintain it. It's not only losing the weight for me, it's maintenance. It's maintenance. For me, for Snowman Multimedia, for Snowman Sportsnet, which I have a game for tonight, and I'm so excited for that. We are going to keep pushing. If you're not behind us, you're in front of us. And if you're in front of us, you're going to get run the over. Now get out of my face, you thirsty bitches. That's Snowman's take. What's yours?
So wait, are these bronze?
I just felt like saying that. The
heartbeat.
Huh?
I was like, cue that heartbeat.
Hell no. Hell no. But I will cue this.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
Since my mom thought she knew what I should do for a career and I went into sportscasting anyway, we're going to take a stroll down memory lane, game show style. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Do you remember our first group photo? This is it. Smiles all around, even though we were all nervous.
Who could have imagined that our first weekend together would soon turn into a lifetime of memories?
You're an amazing young man. Your brothers and sisters really look up to you. They're a big brother.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
There are so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I ain't never felt so much love before in my life.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
There we go. I'm tired. I sound like my wife. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Not tired, tired.
All right.
Or how do we used to say it? I'm not tired. I'm tired.
And we're coming down the stretch here on Snowman in the Morning. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys indeed. All right. To those of you listening on our radio stations, we owe you some IDs as we're at the top of the as we're at the bottom of the second hour. Beg your pardon.
Mm-hmm.
We owe you an ID. This is Snowman in the Morning on Snowman Multimedia.
This is WJKS, Indianapolis, Chicago, and the world. This is WSMM-DB, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati. This is WBWS-DB, Chicago.
Thank you, Michael Lyle. Those are our IDs. You're going to hear them often because I'm doing this old school. This is an old school simulcast. This is television and radio.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be adding a couple of music breaks to the IDs also.
Okay.
Tonight, 5:45 p.m. I'll be on the air in Columbus for Columbus East Baseball as they host the Scottsboig Warriors. And then Saturday, it's something I've wanted for 4 years. It's a doubleheader with Columbus East hosting Floyd Central. All 3 games will air on all of our stations, and all 3 games will air on Snowman Sportsnet and Snowman Multimedia. If you watch the in-camera action on YouTube and you're a first-time visitor, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and if you feel that you can, drop a super chat with us to really help build the channel. Now, with all that housekeeping out of the way, Plays by CJ says Dallas Cowboys are going to be different this year, and he puts LOL behind it. I think even he knows.
That's why I was saying, like, I'm being trolled. I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I got a personal take out of the way. Now I got to get a professional one out of the way. As Victor offered his thoughts on his Cowboys, I'll offer the same on my 49ers. I'll begin with this. To all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters over the years, shut the hell up.
Shut up.
Shut up. I'll try it again. To all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters, shut up. To all you 49er trolls that saw the Exodus and claim that the 49er season is over before it started, shut up. And to all you experts, to all you supposed experts that are saying the same thing, because we lost people like Dre Greenlaw, we lost Eric Armstead, we lost a few people in free agency. In free agency, we got poached. Yes, we did. But for all of you that are saying that the 49ers championship window is closed, and I don't need this button here, shut the up. You cannot say that the window is closed because of about 10 players left in free agency. We signed a couple people in free agency, but they're under the radar. You understand that? They're under the radar. Just because we haven't made a splash deal yet doesn't mean one isn't coming. You understand that? And plus, we have the most picks out of anyone in the draft this year, and we got the most cap room. We have 11 picks. Oh, and our biggest signing is Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator, who is bringing aboard a former 49er great to help him with his defense. To all you 49er fans, the true ones, you should remember this name. Bryant Young. Played at Notre Dame.
I play the card Pot of Greed.
And A. Pizzle said Ravens have 11 picks as well. Thank you. Thank you, A. Pizzle.
True.
Thank you, A. Pizzle. You know, I love when people correct me. Other people get mad. I don't.
No.
I don't, man. I love when people correct me.
It shows how knowledgeable our fan base is.
Yep. And I love that. I love that.
It shows how knowledgeable our fan base is.
Look, I do troll people, but I do it in all kinds of fun. Okay? That's what trolling should be. Fun. But people take it too serious.
That's true,
That's
too.
why I let loose the take I had earlier. Everything should be fun. Okay?
Yes, it
as
should.
far as my 49ers go, the first thing they need to do and the first thing they have done is get healthy.
Yeah.
We had half a roster by week 18 because everybody else was on the on injured reserve. And if you're on injured reserve, that's costing you 4 weeks anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you know? Listen, Brock Purdy played 15 games last year and still threw for 3,892 yards.
Jesus.
So in only 15 games, okay? And you want to compare it to someone who played 17 games and only barely had 300 yards more. Listen, Brock Purdy dropped 4 300-yard games last year. There'll be more this year, but I bet you it's going to be part of a 500-yard attack. Why? Because we do something other teams are afraid to do. Run the damn ball.
And thus we've seen the revitalization of CMC.
Oh, he's going to be a terror this year. And don't be surprised if the 49ers pick up a running back in the draft. Don't be surprised if they do that because they only have 2 on the roster right now, 2 main ones on the roster. That's Isaac Orendo out of Louisville and, of course, Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford.
I used the card Pot of Greed. No, but they do need a little bit more help within the running back.
Got to get an offensive line.
Because seeing CMC hurt for as long as he was this year,
mm-hmm.
It did hurt the Niners' chance of going back to the NFC Championship game.
Garendo is him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To people who think Garendo couldn't do anything, you don't know football. I said it.
I want Rico Dowdle to be like Garendo. I want to see if he can do that.
Rico Dowdle has to run.
He has to get more attempts. Yes, he has to get more attempts at running the football.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's going to come down to whether or not the Cowboys can get a better line to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? They need to get it to where they can make run block, because run blocking and pass rush are 2 different things. And I think most people don't seem to realize that.
Right.
I'll be like, well, they did keep Dak Prescott upright. Well, yeah, they did. They did. But the problem is the difference between run blocking and pass protection. Pass protection just means to keep people away from the quarterback, give him time to survey the field.
Mm-hmm.
Run blocking, you have to actively make holes for your running back.
Yeah. And our line is led by the best offensive lineman in the game. You know him, Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
Who is playing in his 16th year.
Oh, my God.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
16 years, and he's still the best damn tackle in the game. If we don't have him, we don't have a running game.
Right.
It's been proven for the past 2 years. Hell, let me be honest. It's been proven every year he's been in San Francisco and Washington. But Washington messed up.
Yeah.
Washington messed up and let us snatch Trent Williams out of Oklahoma.
And if Washington finds a way to get another offensive lineman like that, like Trent Williams, watch out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Watch out.
I'm looking forward to it.
This past year, the Washington Commanders, aka Redskins, they became something different.
Oh yeah.
They are no longer the little brother of the NFC East. They are no longer the little brother of the NFC East. And with every single team that gets better, that ends up being us soon.
You know, I love when people doubt our teams.
Well, unfortunately for my team, it's usually a foregone conclusion. It's usually a correct assumption.
Doubt my 49ers if you must. But it'll be to your own detriment. And you'll have people saying to you, "You fired!"
Or more like, "You fool."
Like Victor said. Or more like,
"You fool!"
Just because your team sometimes plays like doesn't give you the right to make fun of mine, because I know my team sometimes plays like Arizona Cardinals week 18. Hello, we surrendered 47 damn points, but we were playing with half the team that we started with. And for those of you who are thinking when I say the Niners are a contender in the NFC West this coming year, but I know the Rams will give us problems. I know some people are saying,
we gotta pause that.
It's more likely they turn on their CD players and says, "And now a selection from the Wonder Bread Empire entitled Snowman, You Smoking."
you know, they're even saying to me,
"Stop it. Get some help."
And
Bitch, are you for real?
I'm very much for real. San Francisco is going to be a major pain in everyone's asses this coming season. Because we're going to be healthy and we're going to be ready and we're going to patch up both sides of the line. Oh, by the way, in case you don't know, Robert Saleh's back home in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oops!
I played the card Pot of Greed, which you will be seeing a lot from the San Francisco 49ers.
I can't wait to call their games this year.
Right.
I can't wait to call their games this year. Because the Niners are thinking,
you know what? That makes me mad.
Yep.
Which makes some people, I say the Niners are NFC Championship bound this year, and people think,
are you kidding me?
And then others think,
he did what?
But I'm telling you, the San Francisco 49ers are going to be a problem this coming year. Because their attitude, especially with Robert Saleh back in the fold, is,
you know what? That makes me mad.
And every opponent should think,
you know what? That makes me mad.
And anybody who is old school like I, Victor included, knows the last thing you want to do to the 49ers
is make them angry.
Is piss them off.
They're like the Incredible Hulk. Don't make them angry. You wouldn't like them when they're angry.
You wouldn't like us when we're angry. Niners are angry. They are Ang and Gary. They are Ang and Ree.
Angry and Gary.
and Gary. I messed up. Try that again. They are Ang and Ree. Ang and Gary. What the hell?
That actually was a good one too.
I love that one. I might keep it. I might keep it and make it a drop.
I was just thinking about something, and I think I've asked this question before.
Yes, sir.
So earlier, before the show started, we were talking about the intros to some of our favorite sports shows. Of course, talking about like NBA and NBC, NBA, CBS.
Yep. Well, let me. Close that and then go on. Go on, Victor.
So, and I was like, it's just those type of things that's like implement memories in your mind. Because I remember when NBA and CBS would come on, and this is gonna sound stupid, and y'all gonna know it's like where I'm gonna go with this. But do y'all remember them the big cake mixing bowls?
Yes.
How many of y'all?
I remember that set my mom had.
And be honest, how many of y'all just filled it to the brim with your favorite cereal, sat in the middle with cereal and milk, and sat in the middle of the floor eating while watching NBA CBS?
Look, Sunday afternoons, NBA on CBS was the shit. Especially if it was a doubleheader. Because you know where they're going with the doubleheader. They're going to Boston in the early game, and they're going to Inglewood in the late game. But you didn't care.
Right.
You take that big-ass bowl that Victor described so eloquently. You fill that sumbitch up to the brim. All right? You don't stop.
You don't.
You don't stop.
And your mom wonders why in the world she's buying cereal after she just bought it.
After she bought it and sees the box in the trash can.
Yep.
You fill that sumbitch up. Half a gallon of milk is gone.
Yep.
Make sure it doesn't overflow. Make sure you don't spill anything because that's an extra duty. You got to clean it up. And I have had to do it many times.
Extra beating too.
Yep. It may be a beating. It may be a yelling at. I normally got the yelling at.
For me, it was a beating. Because we were not supposed to use that bowl anyway.
I just got yelled at.
No,
quit using my bowl. Okay, what am I doing the next morning?
Using the bowl.
Grabbing that sumbitch down from the cabinet. Now, the first theme I ever heard for the NBA on CBS was this beauty.
Ooh.
Now, y'all know my brain is twisted.
Right.
I'm going to use that for basketball. I'm going to use that theme, that funky theme for basketball.
Is that for TNT?
No, that was for CBS.
Oh, okay. So that was what, 70s?
82.
82. Okay.
Up 80 through 82.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was funky.
And then this happened.
That's what I remember. With the old school animations of the basketball
court. Let me give y'all a little present. In Game 6, the Lakers took the floor with defense of their title hanging in the balance. A battered Isaiah Thomas performed heroically for Detroit. But it wasn't enough. The Lakers escaped with a victory, forcing tonight's dramatic 7th game showdown.
Camera.
This has been a series of startling contrasts, from the friendships off the court to the fierce hostility on it. We've witnessed the youthful exuberance of the challengers and the poise of the champions. There's been hardship and pain, but not enough to overcome sheer guts and determination. These teams have fought each other to a standstill, and tonight their destiny will be determined. It's just a question of who can endure this final hurdle.
Again.
The Lakers hope to repeat history tonight, while the Pistons hope to make some. A championship is at stake, and only one team's prayers will be answered.
You go back, hoop, and then the logo. And the voice behind that?
Brent
folks?
Musburger.
The
legendary Brent Musburger, who I plan to have on this show. He's in Las Vegas. If we're in Las Vegas, I'm going to find him. I'm going to shake his hand, and I'm going to put a headset on him and do an interview with the great Brent Musburger.
Yes, indeed.
Because he don't fly out anymore. He said, I'm going to Vegas. If you see me, slide up to me, have a beer with me. Let's talk some sports.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Musburger, I plan to take you up on that order. Because it's time for us to thrive, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for us to thrive, man. Because, and I can't thank you enough for being one of the last of the original posse to stick with me and stick with this crazy dream I have.
I told you I was going to be here.
You did, man. When I was at my lowest point, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, and let me be honest, I didn't realize it because I was just so far in my head and I was depressed at the time. I was totally depressed. I was totally depressed because at that time I was going through hell.
Right.
I lost my daughter and I was in an abusive relationship. Very abusive. You know what saved me? Doing the games.
Yeah.
Having the games on my schedule kept me going, even when I was homeless for 2 weeks. I finally got settled right before Christmas, 2015, and kept going.
Kept pushing.
I kept going. I kept going. And you can't make this up, folks. No. My wife, my beautiful wife, razzes me all the time, but she has been one of my biggest supporters. Period. One of my biggest and one of my best supporters. She's also one of my harshest critics, man.
Mm-hmm.
She is also one of my harshest critics. And you know what? I've needed that for a long time.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
No. Steven?
Hell no!
Matter of fact, let me go another way with this. Would I have it any other way with my wife being my harshest critic?
Woo!
Hell no! To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
Hell to the no.
No.
Oh, thank you. Would I have it any other way?
No! No, 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 no.
And in case you didn't hear what I said,
no, 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 no.
And to all you haters,
stay off the weed.
I needed a reason to push that button. But again, as we get ready to get out of here, would I have it any other way with my wife being my biggest cheerleader and my harshest critic?
No, 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 no.
And if an idea doesn't work, she will look me in the eye and go,
no, 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 no.
That's why I appointed her chief operating officer. I'm working on defining what duties should be done. I've already done that for the show. I'm going to continue to refine them as we go along. Going to revise our sports machine coverage when we do the NFL this year.
Oh man.
Because the way we're going to do it is we're going to have a feature game and then we're going to have updates.
Yeah.
Not in play-by-play form, but in the form where the old NFL on CBS used to do it.
Maybe
let's go to Philadelphia for an update.
Like a game break, basically. Yep. So like where there's scoring or it's a turnover situation. Is why it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
That way we have won the feature game and then we can just pepper updates as time progresses.
Yep. That's what we did at the latter part of the season. And we had to kill last season because we were just all exhausted.
Yeah.
We were all exhausted. We didn't do the final 3 weeks of the season because we were just pooped. I mean, we kept running so hard, we ran smack dab into the wall.
Yes, we did.
And Victor woke me up the final Sunday morning and said, "Are you really going to do this?" My response was simple. Bishop.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
And we're going to figure it all out. And me having OBS at my disposal, I'm going to get evil. Our time is up. We hope that you enjoyed it. And we hope that you join us next week. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. Chase your dreams, catch them, and then chase some more. I love you guys. Out.
Next week is going to be NFL draft, and we're going to find out how many teams need something besides Jesus. See y'all next week.